Okay, let's learn Atacama Desert. This is on page 16 of your book. Did you know that Atacama Desert is an actual place in South America? It's known to be one of the driest places on earth. The place actually is really gorgeous. I highly recommend that you Google a photo of it. Let's look at the left hand of the opening. We have... This is the most common mistake that students make. The G is actually tied for the first two measures. So first measure is, and then for the third B, you don't play the G again, you just play the E. And a lot of times the students play all of them. But it should be 1, 2 measure, 1, go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, the G's held, and just the bass moves. And then you have to play it again. A, this is a 7th, and then B, C, and then another 7. This is measure 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. You can practice the left hand with the pedal. It changes almost like just every measure, except at measure 4 you have to change twice. Okay, let's start from the opening. Just play the left hand line. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, E moves. 1, 2, D goes to C, and 7. A, 2, 3, 4. Change pedal. Change. 4. Keep on going. 1, 2, measure 5, and now measure 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, B, C, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. If you've been paying attention, you would have noticed that first 4 measures and second 4 measures, so measures 5 through 8 are identical to first 4 measures. The only difference is it's slightly louder. Instead of piano, it's at mezzo piano. And the right hand, which started here, goes up an octave, but playing exact same notes. Okay, so right hand is kind of a rotation figure with the bottom being the same, and then just the top moves, and it's got a simple melody line. Yeah. Things don't move very fast or change very frequently, and does there sometimes. 1, 2, both hands go. 1 and G. You want to bring out just the G, F, E. Now 7. Right hand up an octave. Build up from first 4 measures to the second 4 measures. If you look at the right hand notes, it's just B, rotate up to G, F, E, and there's a natural decay of sound from G, F, E. Yeah, so you want to follow the contour of that line. And whatever is repeated, you want to be quiet. So make sure the thumb's not, banging out. We wanted to bring out the top. Now the bottom is C. Yeah, the last E, bring it out slightly because it's syncopation. 1 and 2 and 4. Because usually the ends are not brought out. We have a longer note on the offbeat, so that's syncopated. Okay, let's play the first 4 measures again, both hands. 1 and 2 and 3, start. We take. Now 7. B, C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. The A section. So we need something now contrasting. We're gonna go into the B section. Left hand changes to, it goes up higher, E and D, and we're gonna keep E bass, and then just move the thumb down. So starting at measure 9, the first chord is E and D, follow along, and then next one is E and C sharp. Okay, and the next one is C natural, just moving chromatically down to B. And then here you shift, you jump down to C, B. Okay, let's just try those 4 measures. And right hand is up here. So you are at E and you just move slightly over to higher B. You're just walking your fingers gently, keeping it very legato. 2 and 2. B, E, A, E, G, F, G, A. If you're ever sounding kind of funky in this piece, you're probably forgetting the F sharp. So make sure all the Fs are sharp. Okay. Take a note of the tie that's in measure 10. So it's B, E, A, G, hold, F, G, A. Okay. And then notice in measure 12, you're gonna reach that E and then turn over to 4. This will set you up for the next measure. So let's play from measure 9 through 12 again. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Turn over, shift. So it's like a transition figure, right? And let's look at next page. I'll play for you and see what you notice. Okay, sounding familiar? It's actually the same material as measure 9 through 12, except that now we are down here. So it was up here, based on E, and then we go down to, with the bass being A, and then same thing in the right hand. But the pattern is exactly the same, except when it reaches measure 16, you have a B major, okay, B dominant 7 chord in the left hand, and then you can actually reach down. But let's just go from measure 13 to downbeat of measure 16. 1, 2, ready, go. It doesn't mean that you don't pedal. If you notice from the previous page, it says pes simile on the bottom in measure 11. That means continue in similar fashion. So you're just going to be pedaling pretty much 1 pedal per measure, except in measure 16, maybe you'll change once more for that low B. So that will be the end of the B section. And then for measure 17, let me move over the camera just a little bit to show you. Okay. So, while I'm setting it up, you'll notice that we have an escalation, sort of a build-up, throughout the whole piece, actually. You can almost see. So far we've been building up dynamic wise. We start at piano, we go to mezzo piano, and page 5, no, measure 5, and then we go to mezzo forte and measure 9, and then ultimately we reach forte in measure 17. Left hand is quite low, okay, and it jumps around. I will probably practice this left hand alone with pedal multiple times, and it goes all the way to A slightly cut off, but so it goes E and then D, and actually goes to C and measure 19, and then the bass is A and B. Okay, all kind of jumping back and forth. Let's just play the left hand by itself at measure 17. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, go to D. Now C, 1, 2, 3. Now A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and the B, 7th chord, which actually we use in measure 16 to set up this whole process. Okay, just the opposite direction. This section is actually A prime because it sounds similar to the beginning, except the register has changed. So I'll show you what I mean. At measure 17, 1, 2, ready, go. And you want to bring out that bass nice and loud. And then variation. And instead of building up, you're diminuendoing to here. The most common mistake at measure 22 is playing that left hand in the bass. It should be up here. Notice the clef change in the beginning of measure 22. So it's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, and it ends in nice E minor chord. So it goes E, B, E, G, B. Let me play the whole thing for you. Actually, you should play along. Maybe just one hand, okay? Or both if you're able. Depends on your reading level. We're gonna start from the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. Now a little louder. And build up. This is the B section. Still loud. Loudest. Now A prime. Ritardando and diminuendo and recover tempo. Gently E, F, and take your time rolling that chord. And once again, wait until the sound decays and then lift up gently with the pedal. Okay. It's in 3 parts. So I highly recommend practicing one part at a time, even though it's tempting to just, play from the beginning to the end over and over again. It's nice to kind of separate out to 3 different parts to practice.